Hello，大家好，欢迎回到外媒看中国，我是安博然。Two big stories today. First up, Sam Altman, CEO of American AI model OpenAI, is in panic mode after his backers realized the US $18 billion they'd invested in his product might as well have been flushed down the toilet. So now OpenAI, which is severely threatened by the recent release of China's DeepSeek, which cost only $5.6 million to create, is using its close US government connections to push Washington, D.C. to ban DeepSeek because it could have connections to the Chinese government. And he doesn't just want to have DeepSeek banned in the US, he wants to bully other countries to ban it as well, like the UK, Canada, and Germany. So what is he afraid of? Also today, staff at two of America's most vicious propaganda outlets, Voice of America and Radio Free Asia, found themselves locked out of their offices on the weekend as the Trump administration clamped down on government waste, even demanding they hand over their press permits. US media quoted my joyful response while saying I'm controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. That's not very nice. Today we'll take a closer look. This is Reports on China. I'm Andy Borham in Shanghai. Let's get reporting. It was a sad weekend for reporters and other staff at a number of US state-controlled propaganda outlets as they found they were locked out of their offices and facing the unemployment line. But for people around the world in countries that have been the targets of US propaganda over the decades, it was amazing news. Voice of America, which literally began as a way to spread US propaganda during World War II, and later went on to push US politics and propaganda around the world in 48 languages, found its government funding cut and its reporters locked out of their offices on the weekend. NPR summed it up well with the headline, Bloody Saturday at Voice of America and other US-funded networks, where they admit that VOA was under the umbrella of the US Agency for Global Media, or USAGM, which started in 1942 as the ominous-sounding Office of War Information, and went on to utilize its 5 distinct media entities, including VOA and Radio Free Asia, which also lost funding and locked out staff, to spread US propaganda around the world. That included conditioning the world for the US invasion of Iraq in 2003, based on the known lie of weapons of mass destruction, leading to more than 1 million innocent Iraqis being murdered. And the media in the US was complicit. In fact, while I was doing my research for this video, I came across my name, surprisingly. NPR, in their Bloody Saturday story, had quoted my glee at news of VOA and Radio Free Asia's demise. This from NPR. A reporter for the English-language Shanghai Daily, controlled by the Chinese Communist Party, exulted at the developments. Excellent news, Andy Borham tweeted. He called Radio Free Asia one of the US's most insidious anti-China propaganda outlets. And I am completely right, of course. Voice of America and Radio Free Asia have been fundamental and important tools of Washington, D.C. in their anti-China media push over the years, propagating misinformation about China at every chance, and no doubt being major benefactors of Capitol Hill's US $1.4 billion fund to spread anti-China propaganda around the world. The demise of Voice of America and Radio Free Asia is a massive win for truth and fairness, and a step forward to a freer, fairer, more democratic world order. But that's not all for today's show, because OpenAI, one of the US's leading AI models, is now calling for the US government to ban China's recently released and totally free DeepSeek model, claiming that doing a Tonya Harding and kneecapping the competition is actually working towards a free market, promoting free and fair competition that drives innovation. I'm not even joking. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, is absolutely freaking out because he's blown through nearly $18 billion of investor funding to create his AI model, which was completely blown out of the water after China released the completely free and open DeepSeek, which sent US markets plummeting and wiped over $1 trillion in value from Western tech companies. So now Sam Altman and OpenAI are trying to use the China threat scare tactic that got Huawei shafted around the world to get DeepSeek banned. They wrote to their contacts in the US government outlining moves they think Washington needs to take in order to stop DeepSeek. And the hilarious thing is that they claim this will help promote a free market and fair competition. Honestly, they really wrote that while begging the US government to ban their competition. Under the heading Advancing Democratic AI, in a clear attempt to continue the new Cold War mentality and turn any competition with China into an overly simple matter of freedom versus authoritarianism, OpenAI uses all the tricks in the book to ramp up the tired and boring China threat narrative. They wrote, OpenAI believes the best future is one in which we move forward with democratic AI that is shaped by the democratic principles America has always stood for. Well, that's just a little bit ironic because it could easily be argued that DeepSeek is the only really democratic AI, while Sam Altman's OpenAI is actually authoritarian in nature. Hear me out. DeepSeek is free for anyone in the world to use and is open source, letting anyone use its code and develop what they want from it. OpenAI, on the other hand, is pay to use, and its code is not open source at all. On top of that, anti-competition and anti-free market are not democratic concepts, at least not the last time I checked. Using Huawei as an example, OpenAI continued, as with Huawei, there is significant risk in building on top of DeepSeek models and critical infrastructure and other high-risk use cases, given the potential that DeepSeek could be compelled by the CCP to manipulate its models to cause harm. And because DeepSeek is simultaneously state-subsidized, state-controlled, and freely available, the cost to its users is their privacy and security. Seriously, you couldn't get much more scaremongering than that, and any normal person would see through their ploy to ban DeepSeek for what it is: a scared little man, terrified that China showed his investors that he's wasted away billions of dollars of their money. His desperate ploy is already causing more damage to Sam Altman's weak brand, with fans turning against him. Users have accused OpenAI of hypocrisy and anti-competitive behavior, with some expressing a preference for DeepSeek's open source model. One person wrote on X, OpenAI lost my GPT input the minute they called for a ban on DeepSeek models. Very disingenuous to claim running a model locally is allowing the CCP to peek on your development. I see quite a lot of disapproval of OpenAI on YouTube today. OpenAI is away mindshare. Another said, OpenAI, or rather Sam Altman, wants to ban DeepSeek, not because of national security, but only because people can deploy ChatGPT levels of services for free, beating the totalitarian absolutist at his game of stupidly dumb chatbots. Hey, Nick Quick added, the most revealing part, OpenAI specifically calls out DeepSeek, a Chinese competitor, as state-subsidized and state-controlled, and suggests banning it. Fear is a powerful motivator for policy change. Touche. And on that note, that will be it for today, you guys. But as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Are you surprised that Sam Altman is trying to have DeepSeek banned? And are you happy that US propagandists were locked out of their offices on the weekend? Let me know down below, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help the channel. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.